What if the single most powerful molecule your body produces, a molecule so extraordinary that its discovery earned 3 American scientists the Nobel Prize in medicine, is quietly disappearing from your body right now, and you have absolutely no idea it's happening? Not a virus, not a toxin, not something you caught, something your own biology is doing to you, silently, gradually, and starting much earlier than any doctor has told you. Here is the question nobody asks at your annual checkup. When was the last time you felt genuinely, deeply energized? Not the fake jolt from your 3rd coffee, not the brief rush after a workout, the clean, clear, all-day vitality, where your mind is sharp, your body feels like it's working for you, your hands and feet are warm, and you wake up actually ready for the day. If you cannot remember the last time that felt real, keep watching. Because what you are about to learn explains not just why that feeling faded, but exactly what is happening inside your blood vessels right now, and what a rapidly growing community of longevity researchers and cardiologists are calling the most underrated health intervention of 2026. Comment below before we go any further. Do you experience cold hands or feet, afternoon energy crashes, brain fog, shortness of breath during light activity, or trouble sleeping through the night? Drop your biggest symptom right now. You will understand exactly why I ask that in just a moment. Let's talk about nitric oxide. And no, this is not nitrous oxide, the laughing gas from the dentist. Nitric oxide is completely different, and it is arguably the most important signaling molecule your cardiovascular system depends on to keep you alive and performing at your best. Nitric oxide, the chemical symbol NO, is a gas produced naturally inside the cells lining your blood vessels. Those cells are called endothelial cells, and they form a thin layer across every blood vessel in your body. Every artery, every vein, every capillary. That lining is called the endothelium, and its primary job is producing nitric oxide. When your endothelium is healthy and producing adequate nitric oxide, that molecule signals smooth muscle surrounding your blood vessels to relax. When that muscle relaxes, your vessels expand, vasodilation. Blood flows more freely. Oxygen reaches muscles and brain more efficiently. Your heart does not have to work as hard. Blood pressure stays in check. Every organ performs better because circulation is the foundation everything else is built on. This is Nobel Prize-winning science. In 1998, Robert Furchgott, Louis Ignarro, and Farid Murad received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for discovering nitric oxide as a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. So why aren't we all talking about this every single day? Here is what nobody warned you about. Your body's ability to produce nitric oxide does not stay constant. It declines significantly, and it starts earlier than you think. In 2026, this is one of the hottest topics in longevity medicine. Comment below. Tell me your age range and your top energy complaint. Fact 1. The science of no and the Nobel discovery. Let's go deeper into the science, because I want you to genuinely understand what nitric oxide does, not just hear a buzzword. The story starts in the 1970s and 1980s. Scientists observed a puzzling phenomenon. When the inner endothelial lining of blood vessels was intact, certain chemicals cause vessels to expand. When scientists damage that lining, the same chemicals cause constriction. Something produced by healthy endothelial cells was causing relaxation. They called this mysterious substance EDRF, endothelium-derived relaxing factor. For years, nobody knew what it was. In 1986, Furchgott and colleagues identified that EDRF was nitric oxide, a gas, a molecule so simple like one nitrogen atom, one oxygen atom, that scientists initially dismissed the idea it could have such a profound biological role. But the evidence was undeniable. Here is how it works. Endothelial cells activate an enzyme called ENOS, which converts the amino acid L-arginine into nitric oxide. That NO diffuses into surrounding smooth muscle cells, triggers a cascade that produces cyclic GMP and causes the muscle to relax. Vasodilation occurs. This pathway is directly involved in erectile function, exactly why sildenafil works. It is involved in immune function. White blood cells use nitric oxide to kill pathogens. It is involved in neurotransmission, in mitochondrial efficiency, in every major system. And according to research published in the American Journal of Hypertension, nitric oxide bioavailability decreases significantly with age. By your 40s, NO production may already be 50% lower than your 20s. By your 60s, that decline can reach 75%. 75% less of the molecule your vascular system depends on. Let that sink in. Fact 2. Deficiency after 40. The symptoms you have been ignoring. I want to tell you about a man I will call Richard. Richard is 57 years old, not overweight, does not smoke, exercises when he can, eats reasonably well. By every external measure, he is doing the right things. But for the past 4 years, Richard has been living with a cluster of symptoms his doctor keeps assigning to separate causes. Blood pressure runs a little high. He crashes every afternoon around 2 or 3 p.m. Hands and feet are often cold even when the room is warm. He wakes up 2 or 3 times every night and never feels rested. His mental sharpness has dulled. He gets winded climbing stairs in a way he never did 5 years ago. And his libido has quietly, unmistakably declined. Richard's doctor has never once mentioned nitric oxide, never connected these scattered symptoms to a single underlying mechanism. But here is what the emerging science of 2026 is telling us. Richard's symptom cluster is textbook nitric oxide deficiency. Think about it from first principles. If your blood vessels cannot dilate properly, what happens? Blood pressure rises. The heart must push harder against constricted vessels. Circulation to extremities drops. Cold hands, cold feet. Oxygen delivery to muscles becomes inefficient. You fatigue faster. Blood flow to the brain is reduced. Mental fog, slower cognition, disrupted sleep. Stamina drops. Recovery slows. Every one of Richard's symptoms traces back to one root cause: insufficient nitric oxide production. Researchers estimate endothelial dysfunction affects the majority of adults, over 50 in Western countries. The American Heart Association has identified it as one of the earliest predictors of cardiovascular disease, often appearing 10 to 15 years before any clinical diagnosis. The tragedy is that most people manage downstream symptoms, blood pressure medication, sleeping pills, caffeine, while the upstream cause goes untreated. How many of those symptoms are yours? Comment below. Fact 3. Benefits of restored. No, energy, brain, longevity, stamina. Now let's flip the picture entirely. The same science that describes what nitric oxide decline does also tells us, clearly and consistently, what restoring optimal NO levels delivers. Energy first. When your mitochondria have adequate oxygen and nutrient delivery, ATP production improves. Nitric oxide plays a direct role in mitochondrial biogenesis, helping your body create new mitochondria. More mitochondria means better energy production. Clinical studies on subjects who restored NO levels reported meaningful improvements in sustained vitality within weeks. Not the jittery artificial energy of stimulants, clean, stable energy that builds throughout the day and does not crash. Brain function. Your brain consumes roughly 20% of your total oxygen supply, despite being about 2% of your body weight. Cerebral blood flow is critical infrastructure for cognition. When no production is optimized, blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, responsible for focus, decision-making, and working memory, improves measurably. Subjects in studies consistently report mental clarity and faster recall they describe as a fog finally lifting. Longevity, telomere length, the protective caps on chromosomes that shorten with age and serve as reliable biomarkers of cellular aging, correlates directly with endothelial function. Healthier endothelium, longer telomeres. Nitric oxide also has antioxidant properties that neutralize free radicals and supports autophagy, your cell's natural cleanup process. Longevity researchers are increasingly pointing to endothelial health as a central pillar of the anti-aging toolkit for 2026 and beyond. Stamina. When vasodilation is optimized, muscles receive more oxygen, produce less lactate, and recover faster. This is exactly why beet juice became a staple pre-workout food among Olympic endurance athletes. Studies on recreational athletes who boosted NO found clear improvements in endurance and recovery that could not be explained by any other variable. So what do you actually do? Nitric oxide production can be supported, boosted, and in many cases substantially restored through dietary strategies, lifestyle shifts, and targeted supplementation. Starting with food. Your body produces NO through two primary pathways. The enzymatic pathway, eNOS, converts L-arginine into NO, and the dietary nitrate pathway, you consume nitrate-rich foods. Bacteria on your tongue convert nitrates to nitrites, and your body converts nitrites to nitric oxide. Foods highest in dietary nitrates include beetroot, the most potent source, with studies showing concentrated beet extract can dramatically increase plasma nitrate levels and improve blood pressure within hours. Dark leafy greens like arugula, spinach, and Swiss chard are extremely high in nitrates. Pomegranate both increases NO production and prevents its breakdown. Citrus provides vitamin C, which stabilizes nitric oxide. Watermelon contains L-citrulline, a precursor converted to L-arginine, feeding the eNOS pathway directly. Lifestyle hacks that boost NO include nasal breathing during exercise, morning sunlight exposure, and high-intensity interval training. Avoid antibacterial mouthwash. The bacteria on your tongue handle the critical nitrate to nitrite conversion. Killing them eliminates a key part of your NO production pathway. Multiple studies confirm measurable blood pressure increases in regular mouthwash users. Now here is where targeted supplementation becomes critical and where CircO2 enters the picture. Standard oral L-arginine supplements have a well-documented problem. Most is broken down by gut bacteria before reaching systemic circulation. CircO2, developed by advanced bionutritionals, solves this by delivering NO precursors as a lozenge that dissolves in the mouth. Active compounds absorb directly through the oral mucosa, bypassing the gut entirely. The formula contains L-arginine and L-citrulline in clinically studied ratios, alongside beetroot extract, vitamin C, and magnesium. Clinical testing reports up to a 200% increase in nitric oxide levels compared to baseline. The lozenge also leverages the oral bacteria pathway. Nitrate to nitrite conversion begins the moment it contacts your tongue, mimicking and amplifying the natural process you get from eating nitrate-rich vegetables, but far more concentrated. Here is what I want you to do right now. Before you close this tab, go to the comments and tell me your #1 symptom. The afternoon crash that hits like a wall every day. The cold hands and feet that never warm up. The brain fog that makes thinking feel like pushing through concrete. The shortness of breath on stairs you used to climb without a thought. Whatever it is, write it down. One sentence, your biggest symptom, right now. When you read the comments here, you're going to see yourself reflected in dozens, maybe hundreds of other people. And that recognition, the moment you understand that what you have been experiencing is not just aging, not just stress, not something you simply have to accept, that recognition is the beginning of something genuinely powerful. You are not broken. Your biology is not betraying you randomly. There is a mechanism, there is a molecule, and there is a real path back toward feeling like yourself again. Every single person watching deserves to know that. The link to learn more about nitric oxide and CircO2 is in the description below. Go read the science, look at what real users are reporting, and make an informed decision. If this video gave you even one new insight into your own body, share it. Send it to someone over 40 who is quietly living with symptoms they have accepted as inevitable. Because one of the most dangerous beliefs in health is that how you feel right now is simply how it has to be. It does not have to be. The science says otherwise. The molecule exists. Your body knows exactly how to use it. The only question is whether you give it what it needs. Comment below, share this video, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.